Hi everybody, welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can convert a Python data structure into Pandas Dataframe. So we will start with importing the Pandas library as PD. Next I'm going to create a list that will contain 5 IDs. So this list is called ID list and it will have 5 values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. My intention is to create a data frame from this list data structure, and that data frame is going to contain one column with 5 rows, each containing one ID. So there is our data frame, but this data frame contains no column name because we have not provided any column name. So if you want to provide a column name or column names, you need to use columns attribute in pd.dataframe. And here I am creating a column named ID. Now you see that I have the data frame with 5 values in each row with a column ID. I'm creating a second list here, which is a name list having 5 string, and they are, say, 9 names of the corresponding IDs that we have created so far. My intention is to join these two lists, ID list and name list, not join. So say we are going to create a list of lists. And my idea is to see whether we can create in a similar way a data frame where each list, the ID list and name list, will become 2 columns. So I have created a variable called lists and put ID list and name list as 2 lists inside of it and trying to create a data frame. So it didn't work. You see that the 2 lists 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, which is my ID list, and ABCDE, which is my named list, they are becoming 2 different rows, not 2 different columns. So if I create columns with name, ID, and name, you can see that I'm getting an error. It is saying that I'm supposed to send out 2 columns, ID and names, but instead I have sent 5 columns, which are the 5 rows in each of my list. So how we can achieve that? One way to achieve that is to use the zip function for Python and zip the 2 lists together. So I'm using the zip command here, zip function here, ID list and name list. I'm zipping them together and the zip object is created, and then I'm using that zipped object to create the Pandas data frame. Even I can name the columns ID and name there. Another way to achieve this when you have a list of lists is to create the rows of our data frame, future data frame, as lists inside my big list. So here I'm creating the list of lists, and that list is containing multiple lists. Each is going to be a row in my data frame. So 1A will be one row, 2B will be another row, and so on. And 1, 2, 3 here in my example will become my ID, and ABC will become my name, 2 different columns. And this is how we can also achieve that. So if you want to have list of lists into a data frame, you need to format your Python data structure in this way. Otherwise, if you have 2 lists of IDs and names and you want to create 2 columns from them, you just zip them up. Tuple is very similar in nature compared to lists, and I'm just showing you some examples here that tuples work in a similar way as we did it for lists. I created ID tuple, 5 values in the tuple, and created pd.dataframe with a column name ID, and it's been created. The second example, again, I'm trying to see whether if I make a tuple of tuples, and I'm trying to see whether I'll be able to make 2 columns out of it, if I put that tuple of tuples inside a pd.dataframe call, and here you see that again each of my tuples is going to be a row in the data frame. And if I put the column names, it is obvious that I was supposed to send 2 columns, but I have passed 5 columns. 5 is the number of values in my tuples. So again, this time what I can do is I'm creating a name tuple here where ABCDE is going to be inside a tuple. They're corresponding the names of the IDs that we have created in an ID tuple, and then I'm zipping them up using Python zip function And then that zip object that's created with this call, I'm putting that zip object inside my pd.dataframe call. And I'm also providing the column names there as ID and name. And this is going to create my data frame with 2 columns, ID and name, with 5 rows each. Now, again, if I have a tuple of tuples, it exactly works in a similar way for list of lists, and that's what we're doing here. I created a tuple of tuples and calling pd.dataframe with that tuple of tuples variable with columns ID and name, and there goes our data frame. My preferred way of creating a data frame from Python data structure is to create a dictionary with the key value pair, and the keys are going to be the name of my columns in the data frame, and the values are going to be inside a list. That's it. When I create the dictionary, I again put the dictionary inside pd.dataframe call, and there goes my data frame with 2 columns, each having 5 values. Another way to do that, if you have a dictionary, then maybe you can put your dictionaries as the rows and put them inside a list. So this is going to be a list of dictionaries, where the dictionaries are going to be key value pair, keys are IDs, and values are the values of IDs, and names and values for names are names here. So ID colon 10, name colon A, that's going to be my first row. ID colon 20, name colon B is going to be my second row, and that's a list of dictionaries that I'm putting inside pd.dataframe, and there goes my data frame with 2 columns, each having 2 values. Just the way we did it for we created in the list of dictionaries. Same thing we can do for tuple of dictionaries rather than list of dictionaries, as they behave really similar way. What we're trying to do here is creating a tuple of dictionaries, and then we're calling pd.dataframe with the list of tuple of dictionaries, and there goes our data frame with 2 columns, ID and name, with 2 values each. Now that's everything for today's tutorial. I hope you like it. If you have liked it or get benefited out of it, please press like and subscribe to my channel to get more updates. So see you next time. Until then, best of luck with your Pandas learning.